Alright, so in this video, let's take a look at dividing polynomials using synthetic division. Alright, so here you can see that we have x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5x plus 5 divided by x minus 3. Okay, so when you're working these problems in the textbook, you may see the problem written like this. Another way that they might have the problem written is x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5x plus 5 all over x minus 3. Okay, so this right here and this means the same thing. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and divide this using synthetic division. So first thing, let's draw this, and so now for the numbers going along here, we're going to use this polynomial here. Okay, and the numbers that we enter, or that we write down, would be the 1, -4, -5, and 5. Okay, all it is the coefficients in front of the variables. Okay, see, the 1 is the coefficient of the x cubed, the minus 4, that's the coefficient of the x squared, the minus 5 right here is the coefficient of the x, and then we have our constant term 5. Okay, now we're dividing by x minus 3. Okay, so the number that we put here, you see how it's minus 3? Okay, so the number we put here, it's the sign opposite. Okay, so if this were a plus, this would be a minus 3. But since this is minus 3, it's a plus 3. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the synthetic division. So what we do is we bring the first term down. Okay, so there's our 1, and then we multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, this 3 times this 1 gives us 3. And then we add. So -4 plus 3 is -1. And then we multiply the 3 times the -1, which is -3. And then we add. So -5 plus -3 is -8. And then we multiply. 3 times -8 is -24. And then we add. So 5 plus -24 would give us -19. And this -19 here, this last number here that you get, that's going to be your remainder. Okay, this is the remainder. Okay. Alright, so now our solution to this polynomial divided by x minus 3. Okay, so notice here how it starts out with an x cubed. Okay, so it started out with an x cubed, so this one is going to start out with an x squared. It would look like this. It would be 1 times x squared minus 1 times x. They just decrease in power, so it's x squared, x to the first, and then minus our constant term. So our solution would be x squared minus x, see, minus 1x. See, there's our 1x, there's our 1x squared, which is just x squared, minus 1x, which is just minus x, minus 8. okay, plus the remainder, negative 19, over what we're dividing by, the x minus 3. See this x minus 3 here, or if it's written like this, it would be this x minus 3 over x minus 3. And then we can clean it up a little bit. See, we have the plus and the minus here, so that would just end up being x squared minus x minus 8, and then the plus and the minus make a minus 19 over x minus 3. Okay, and just remember here it's plus the remainder over the divisor. Okay, and this would be our solution. Alright, so let's take a look at one more example. Alright, so we have x cubed plus 6x minus plus 8 divided by x plus 2. And once again, this can be written as 5x cubed plus 6x plus 8 over x plus 2. Okay, once again, you might see it written in either one of these forms, the problem. Alright, so let's look at this one. Notice how this problem's a little bit different than the first one. We have a x cubed term, an x term, and then a constant. Notice right in here the x squared term's missing. Okay, see, if we look back at the first example, we had an x cubed term, an x squared term, an x term, and then constant. Okay, and that's what we have to have when we're doing the synthetic division. We have to have whatever it starts with. Okay, in this case a third power, so we have to have a 3, 2, 1 constant. Okay, see, the exponent's a 3, the exponent's a 2, the exponent's a 1, and then we have our constant term. And another thing that I didn't mention is the make sure when this polynomial here is written in descending powers, you have the largest exponent first, then the next one, all the way down to your constant term. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's go back to this one, example 2. Alright, so our x squared term is missing. So let's go ahead and set this up, and let's see what we need to do about that. Alright, so I have the coefficient of my x cubed term, which is 5. Okay, and then notice the x squared term's missing. Okay, so in that place I put my 0. Okay, because the x squared term's missing. And then, okay, so there's my coefficient of x cubed, coefficient of x squared. Now I need the coefficient of x, which is 6, and then I have my constant term. Okay, now what number goes here? Well, if we look at this, see how that's a plus 2? So it's the opposite sign, minus 2. Alright, now remember how we did the first one. Let's take the 5 and we just bring the 5 down, and so that's 5, and then we have negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, and we add 0 plus negative 10 is negative 10, and then I multiply. Okay, negative 2 times negative 10 is 20, and I add. Okay, so so 6 plus 20 gives me 26, and then I multiply. Negative 2 times 26 is let's see, negative 52, and then I add 8, and negative 52 would give us negative 44. Okay, and this is my remainder. Had to think on that addition a little bit. All right, and just remember, this last term here is always, that's your remainder. All right, so what did we start with? We started with an x cubed. Okay, started out with the x cubed. So this one's going to start out with an x squared, and then an x, and then my constant term. Okay, so my solution would be 5x squared minus 10x plus 26 plus the remainder, negative 44, over my divisor, this x plus 2 here. And once again, we have a minus here, so the plus and the minus, we can rewrite that. Plus and the minus make a minus. And this would be our answer. Alright, so I hope this video's helped. If you like it, you can check out my other videos. Alright, thanks.